Therefore, other rules can be found in the program book, so for the detailed information, you can check in the program book. So there are 3 presentations in this room by Mr. Ahmad Sugianto, Ms. Monica Ella Harendita, and Mr. Ignatius Indra Kristianto, Ms. Ati Herwati, and Ms. Leora Andovita. So let's start with the first presentation entitled Assessment for Learning, the Instructor's Feedback and its Relation to Students' Engagement in Online Learning by Mr. Ahmad Sugianto from Indonesia University of Education. So for Mr. Ahmad, you will have 15 minutes to deliver the presentations. The time is yours.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. Well, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, can you see the slides?
Haven't.
Not yet, but maybe it's still loading.
Not yet.
Yes, I can see it now.
Trial.
Mr. Ahmad, could you continue the presentation now? Mr. Ahmad, could you hear my voice? Can we continue the presentation now? So I think there is some technical issues with Mr. Ahmad Sugianto's presentation. Could we move to the next presentation and we will have Mr. Ahmad Sugianto presentation in the last maybe? Is it okay?
That would be fine.
Okay, I'm sorry for Okay, is it okay for Mr. Ahmad if we move your order to the last?
It's okay. I can see it from the chat.
Okay, so we can continue to the second presentation first. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience and the technical issues. So let's we continue to the next presentation entitled Coping with Group Work in Online Classes, an Exploration of University Lecturers Experience by Ms. Monica Ella Harendita and Mr. Ignatius Indra Kristianto from Sanata Dharma University and Atmajaya Yogyakarta University. So you also have 15 minutes to deliver the presentations and the time is yours.
Thank you, Sarah. First of all, I would like to apologize for wearing a mask because here I'm sharing the room with some other students. So let us just be safe, yeah. But I hope my voice is clear enough for you all to hear. Is it clear, Sarah?
Yes, Miss, it is here from here.
All right, good then. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you all on Zoom in this a little bit cloudy morning here in Jogja. But I hope you all stay happy and healthy during this difficult time. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Monica Ella Harendita from Universitas Sanata Dharma, and my partner is Bapak Ignatius Indra Kristianto from Universitas Atmajaya Yogyakarta. And allow us this morning to share with you the results of our ongoing study. So, for your information, this study is not yet finished, so we are still doing this study entitled Coping with Group Work in Online Classes, an Exploration of University Lecturers' Experiences. Uh, Next slide, please. And this is the outline of our presentation. First of all, we would like to share with you the rationale for doing this project. And the second is the framework we are using. And then the third one is the methodology. The fourth one is preliminary findings and discussion. And the last one is concluding remarks. Okay, let me now start with the rationale for conducting a study in this topic. Next slide, please. I am sure we are all are familiar, with this framework. This is called 21st Century Skills Framework. And this framework has been introduced for over a decade, but we believe that this is still very relevant to today's context. And among the skills, the four C's or the learning skills, which include communication, critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity, have been the ideal goals, the goals in our classes, including language classes. And among the four skills, the emphasis on collaboration among students is one of the aspects navigates us to assign group work, to make group work, and to let the students work in groups together with their friends. And in language learning, group work seems to present students with so many benefits as it allows the students to work together with the peers to not only shape and develop their language competence, but also to develop their soft skills, which are very invaluable when they enter the work field. Next slide, please. Yeah, and according to some scholars, group work is very important because it facilitates interaction among students. And the second one is to build a cross-cultural collaborative online learning. Uh, Yesterday, we listened to Dr. Say's presentation about uh, translinguist, translanguage in education, and I think this has a very close connection to our cross-cultural collaborative online learning. Yeah, where students coming from different ethnicities, from different cultures, uh, are given opportunities to work together in the same forum, in the same class. Next slide, please. However, assigning group work seems to be more problematic, especially in this pandemic situation, which has forced us as lecturers to conduct online classes. It also forced the students uh, to online learning. When we had our face-to-face classes, it seemed to be effortless to ask students to work in groups. Maybe what we did was asking them to make random groups, or just simply to count 1 to 5 to create the groups, or to ask the students to select their own group members so that they know friends that will work well together with them to accomplish certain project. However, it seems that this current situation has made it more challenging for both us as lecturers and students, particularly because the students have not physically met before, especially those who are in their first semester students, the one that we are focusing on today. Uh, when we deal with students from, let's say, semester 2, 3, who have who have already experienced face-to-face classes, maybe it's not that challenging because they know their friends well. They physically met their friends before. They somehow know the characteristics of their friends, and it was able for them to communicate to each other uh, in a direct, what's that, in a physical room, not in a virtual room. But when we have online classes, uh, it seems that there is limited interaction, yeah, and maybe different schedule and time zone differences. We live in Indonesia, where we have 3 different time zones, and probably it also uh, presents challenges for students coming from eastern part of Indonesia and western part of Indonesia. Okay. And another challenge is for the lecturers to give prompt responses and timely feedback, while actually they are very desirable, yeah, for the students while working in groups. So through this study, we would like to explore the experiences by some lecturers in dealing with group work in their online classes. Uh, Particularly, we're going to look at the challenges and also the strategies that they are taking in dealing with the problems or the challenges. Next slide, please. And in order to look at the experiences of the lecturers, we're going to make use of this framework, which is called Community of Inquiry Framework by Garrison and Arbo. And this framework actually represents a process of creating a deep and meaningful learning experience. And there are 3 interconnected or interdependent elements here. As you can see from the circles, the first one is cognitive presence, which is to the extent to which the learners can construct and confirm meaning or knowledge through reflection. Yeah. And the second one is social presence, which is the ability of the participants to identify themselves with the community. Yeah. And the third one is the teaching presence, which includes the design, the facilitation, and curriculum, and so on. Okay. And the next part, we're going to discuss the methodology. Uh, Indra will continue the next part. Time is just by
Okay,
Indra.
thank you very much. I'm going to continue the presentation. And the next one is the methodology. So here we are using descriptive qualitative research because we are trying to focus on the experience of the lecturers and the participants of this study are university lecturers teaching English for first semester students. The lecturers are from Universitas Sanata Dharma and also Universitas Atmajaya Yogyakarta. And the data gathering is conducted by questionnaires. From the questionnaires and from the study, we have found preliminary findings. So here we can see that the frequency of the lecturers giving group work to the students. So we can see that sometimes is 71.4% and often 28.6%. So this is the frequency of giving group work. And the communication platform used in the online class. So the biggest percentage, 42.9%, the lecturers are using WhatsApp or other social media group chat. And then 28.6%, the lecturers are using online discussion forum on the LMS, Learning Management System. And then the rest are email and then personal message, Zoom meeting, and MS Teams. And then here we can see that the lecturers, sometimes they give students freedom to make groups, but more than 50%, it is the lecturer who will decide the members of the group. And then before initiating the group work, the lecturers will ask a question or giving a problem to solve to the group so that the group will initiate the group work. And also the lecturers provide challenge or project so that the students can discuss it in a group work. And the next thing is giving clear procedures when assigning group work. So it is 57.1% giving clear procedures, clear instructions so that the students can do the group work well. And also the lecturers, they are monitoring students' progress in doing group work. And 85.7%, the lecturers will give consultation during the group work. And then based on the findings, on the preliminary findings, there are some types of assigned group work. They are role play, group discussion, group presentation, peer evaluation, games, online games, group tests, and projects. And of course, the lecturers are finding challenges in group work. And those challenges are creating groups. So the strategies from the lecturers. So first they ask the students to make their own group because this is related to the students' motivation to do the group work. However, the challenge is that the students haven't met each other in person. And then the next strategy is using web game to divide the students randomly into a group. And also using the learning management system to assign grouping. And also the simple strategy is by using the student's number. So for example, student number 1 until number 5 will be in the same group. And then the second challenge is making clear instruction. The strategy is by keeping the instruction short and repeating the instruction. And then the third challenge, technical problem, for example, bad internet connection. And the strategy by the lecturers is by being available in chat or WhatsApp group. And then based on the preliminary findings, we can conclude that so far the conclusion is that the participants, the lecturers here, they have demonstrated different techniques in ensuring that the group work runs well. And then based on the community of inquiry, among the 3 types of presence, the teaching presence seems to be dominant. And also assigning group work among first semester students seems to be somewhat challenging, particularly because the students, they haven't met in person in real life. So these are the information based on this beginning of research that we can share to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will give back the time to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Indra and Miss Ella for giving such an enlightening presentation. I hope the challenges and strategies could provide some insights for the participants in here. So let's continue to the second presentation by entitled Teacher Self-Development in Running Online Class by Applying Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Knowledge by Miss Ati Herawati and Miss Leora Andovita from Pakuan University. So you also have 15 minutes to deliver the presentations and the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Good afternoon, everyone. I and Ms. Ola would like to present our paper entitled Teacher Self-Development in Running Online Class by Applying Technological, Pedagogical Content Knowledge, or the most popular one, it is called by TPAC. Okay, we can start from the introduction. Ms. Ola, would you like to? Okay, introduction. As all of us know that this COVID-19 pandemic makes school in the world change the offline learning into the online one. Yeah, so it also includes our country, Indonesia. There are at least four ministries that stated the use of this online platform. Yeah, so there is a joint decision of four ministries at least: the Ministry of Education and Culture, Ministry of Health, Religion, and Home Affairs. Yeah, to apply this online learning by mandating that it means that all teachers and students, like or dislike, so inevitably should adapt with the new way of teaching and learning, which is actually called emergency remote learning. But all of us, most of us, are familiar with the name online class, which is conducted synchronous or asynchronous. So our study comes up with these two research questions. The first one is, what is teachers' understanding about TPAC in running online class? And the second one is, how do teachers apply TPAC in their lesson plans or RPP? Right. So we go to the second part, which is about the literature review. We are going to focus on the three important words based on the title that we present. Yeah. The first one is about the professional development. Yeah. The 21st century professional development skills proposed by Cox to 2019 show the teachers that there are 15 professional development skills that teachers should possess. Yeah, but here we only focus on the three one. As you can see, the three one is colored in yellow. The first one is adaptability. The second one is continuous learner, and the third one is understanding of technology. So adaptability means that they need teachers need to adapt with a new situation, which is called by new normal. Yeah, from face-to-face learning into online learning. And the second one, continuous learner. Why we focus on continuous learner? Because teachers are also learners. Yeah, they should learn how to use, for example, the digital technology in their classroom. Yeah, because the teaching learning process is now conducted online. And the last one is understanding of technology. It relates to the TPAC itself. Yeah, the technology of education, of course. Yeah, the previous presentation showed from Ms. Monica and Mr. Indra, it's about the use of some platform like WhatsApp, Google Classroom, Zoom, and so on and so forth. So they need to understand the use of, for example, WhatsApp. All this time, they only know WhatsApp is only for sending, for example, message, sending picture, but they how they can explore WhatsApp to, for example, to deliver their lesson effectively. This is something that we also need to know. Okay, so we focus on these 3 among the 15 skills that teacher need to possess. Next slide, Ms. Ola. Okay, the next important word in our study is online class itself. Yeah, based on Friedman and Moody in 2020, online class refers to a mix of video recording, which is now popular. The most popular now is YouTube, or live lecturers, which is synchronous, supplemented with readings and assessments that students can complete on their own time, which is considered as asynchronous. So that online class is an environment created through the use of learning management system, or LMS. I believe that every university has its own LMS, yeah. Sometimes using Moodle or any other platform, yeah, that allows students and teacher to connect either synchronously, real time, so with the teacher and the students meeting at the same time, like in the Zoom or Google Meet, or asynchronously with interaction between teacher and students occurring intermittently with the time delay. Yeah, just like, for example, email. Yeah, if they use email, of course the answer might be a bit delay. Yeah, so teacher students are generally separated by location if it is conducted asynchronously. The last one from the literature review is the TPAC itself. Ms. Ola, please. Okay, the last important words in our study is the technological pedagogical content knowledge. Yeah, we took from Kohler and Misra 2009. As we can see from this picture, there are 3 big circles here. Yeah, technological knowledge, content knowledge, and pedagogical knowledge. So that's why I only put the 3 one. But from here, yeah, for example, technological knowledge is intersects with content knowledge and becomes TCK, or technology content knowledge. And also CK with PK become pedagogical content knowledge. So from these 3 knowledge, we have 7 altogether. So this is what we are going to see from the teacher's lesson plan, and actually teachers' perception on their understanding about this TPAC. I don't know, maybe I don't know whether they know each of these, yeah, the intersections between each of these, or they only know the TPAC itself without the pieces that makes TPAC comes, yeah. As we can see from the picture, that TPAC is the center, but the center is there because of the other 3 big circle, which is technological knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and content knowledge. So as we can see from the explanation, TK is knowledge about certain ways of thinking about and working with technology tools and resources. Yeah, and working with technology can apply to all technology tools and resources. Pedagogical means teachers' deep knowledge about the process and practices of method of teaching and learning. And content, of course, the teacher's knowledge about the subject matter to be learned or taught. Next slide, Ms. Ola. Yeah, we come to methodology. Similar to Ms. Monica and Mr. Indra, our research is our research is one of the big parts. So we haven't come to the end. So we are still conducting this research actually. But we present the data that we have got so far. Yeah, we use the method of case study, yeah, and also survey with the participants of senior high school teachers who are taking the teachers professional education or PPG at Pakuan University. We as we know that case study is part of ethnography study. I uh, I am one of the instructors for these teachers. So I talk to them also by using LMS. Yeah, um, that's why I only took these six teachers. Yeah, the other teachers are teaching in junior high school and also a vocational school. These six teachers are those who are teaching in senior high school. And data collection techniques that we use so far is document analysis. We collect 6 lesson plan or RPP in cycle 1 and 6 RPP in cycle 2. We also distributed questionnaire in the format of closed questionnaire written in Bahasa Indonesia. Yeah, we decided to use Bahasa Indonesia because we didn't want bias. Yeah, we didn't want them to fill in the questionnaire without knowing what it is about. Yeah, because of misunderstanding or other things, so we decided to use Bahasa Indonesia. Later, the presentation of the finding is also written in Bahasa Indonesia because we distributed this questionnaire through a Google Form, yeah, by using Likert scale with strongly agree, agree, doubt, disagree, strongly disagree. And the indicators we try to find are the seven pieces from TPAC. Yeah, so technological knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, content knowledge, and then technology, pedagogical knowledge, technology content knowledge, pedagogical content knowledge, and the last one is TPAC itself. That's about the methodology. The finding will be presented by Ms. Ola. Please, Ms. Ola, time is yours.
Thank you. All right. So here are the findings of our research. Well, actually, as Bu Ati said before, our research is still progressing. So our findings here are only taken from the RPP, the documentation, and the result of the questionnaire. The questionnaires are the questionnaire consists of 35 statements, but here from 7 indicators, we only took some of the pie charts here to represent each of the indicators. Firstly, in terms of technological knowledge, well, based on the result of the questionnaire, it is shown that teachers are able to operate online applications such as WhatsApp, Google Classroom, Zoom, and Google Meet. As you can see here, all teachers from 6 teachers agree that they are able to use Google Meet. The second indicator is pedagogical knowledge. In this term, teachers have sufficient knowledge about teaching methods they use, they apply in the classroom. And the most popular from the teaching methods is discovery learning, which is 66.7%. All teachers strongly agree that they admit themselves, they believe themselves they can apply discovery learning. And the next one is content knowledge. Here, based on the pie charts represent the indicator, teachers know about the content materials they teach. So 83.3% all of them strongly agree they have an ability to answer questions related to the topic, and then also have such promising ability to explain learning materials. And next one, we have TPK or technology pedagogical knowledge. Here, you can see teachers can make use of the features to help enhancing students' learning. So basically what I said before, probably WhatsApp is only used to send messages, but now teachers can make use of features in WhatsApp, just voice chat, voice messages, to upload videos. Yeah. Not only WhatsApp, but they can also able to make use of features in Google Meet, Zoom, and Google Classroom. And this indicator, the result indicates teachers know how technology may be used to provide new ways of teaching content. Even here, half of them agree, half of them strongly agree that they know the technology they use will be beneficial for their teaching and learning process. The sixth indicator is pedagogical content knowledge. Okay, so you can see here more than all of them, more than 50%, that they have no problem of selecting teaching methods that fit with the learning materials. And the last indicator here, the result points out that teachers believe themselves that they understand the complexity of relationships between students, teachers, content, practices, and technology. And even all teachers agree that they can choose teaching methods and technology effectively to help students learn materials. So those are based on the result of the questionnaire. However, let's see here what the RPP gives us the evidence. Yeah. Teacher number 1 here. The highlighted words are the difference between cycle RPP in cycle 1 and cycle 2. In here, we can see that there's no significant difference between RPP in cycle 1 and cycle 2. It's only different in choosing the web meeting. In cycle 1, teacher 1 chooses Google Meet, and the cycle 2, teacher chooses Zoom meeting. Yeah. In PCK, it is shown in RPP that to make it possible for students to understand the subject or topic, teacher specifies the discussion. While in cycle 1, there's no specific information what to discuss, but in cycle 2, teacher asks students to discuss jumbled paragraph related to personal letter. Here you can see that there are no TCK points and TPCK points, yeah, in the RPP. Google Forms are used to check students' presence, but then cycle 2 is used to do exercise. Teacher number 2, analyzing a picture and discuss it related to the topic is missing in cycle 2. So there's a difference in PCK activities here. Google Classroom is used only to submit assignment in the end of the session. And cycle 2. Teacher number 3 here. It's a bit long here. Well, in cycle 1, here teacher asks questions to stimulate students' thinking about a topic. Students and teacher have question and answer session or discussion. But in cycle 2, the teacher changes. Here in cycle 2, teacher decides to ask students to read and understand learning materials provided in the attached links and videos from YouTube. And cycle 2, without mentioning activity to stimulate, so students directly read and understand. In cycle 2, teacher uses Google Classroom. While Google Classroom is only used to do asynchronous activity. Teacher number 4, there's no
I'm sorry for the interruption,
differences.
Miss Leora.
Yes?
I'm sorry to tell you that the time is up. So you
Okay,
complete
can I
the
come up to the
presentation?
conclusion? Can I
Yes,
come
I
up to
give you.
conclusion? Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so there's no big difference in teacher number 4, teacher number 5. There's no big difference also. And here the teacher number 6 also, and there are missing points in TCK and TPCK. So what is tickling for us that teachers have so high self-confidence that they could have a perception on their understanding about TPAC. However, those points such as TCK, TPCK, and also ones in teacher number 4 and PK points, that they missed them. So it's a bit tickling for us. Yeah, what they believe they can do doesn't appear in RPP. And teachers apply TK, PK, CK, TPK, TCK, PCK mostly with asynchronous emergency remote learning, like WhatsApp text pictures and Google Classroom. And the development of applying TPAC is only seen from the use of technology. So they only know it without knowing how to make use of them, which is improved and more varied. Okay, so thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for Miss Ati Herawati and Miss Leora and Vita for the engaging presentation. I hope it will give us, particularly for students learning in education study program, to give some insight about TPAC and implementation in online learning. So thank you for the presentation. And last, we have presentation entitled Assessment for Learning, the Instructor's Feedback and its Relation to Students' Engagement in Online Learning by Mr. Ahmad Sujanto from Indonesia University of Education. So you also have 15 minutes to deliver the presentations and the time is yours.
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, before I start, can you see the slides?
Yes, Pak Ahmad, it's very clear.
Well, thank you very much. Well, the title of the research project that was conducted is Assessment for Learning, the Instructor's Feedback and its Relation to the Students' Engagement in Online Learning. So here are the contents of the presentation. The first one will be about the introductions, which has to do with the burning issues and rationales for conducting the study. And the second one will be about the method. In this case, it relates to the research design, method, and participants involved, and sites or the place where the study was conducted, and also the way the data was collected and analyzed. And also, I will try to explain about the findings or results as well as its elaborations later. And the last one will be about the conclusions based on the findings mentioned. Well, let's come to the introduction first. Why feedback is essential? Well, according to Hattie and Timberlake, the information related to individual performance and understanding will have an association or relationship with feedback. So in this case, when the students have got the appropriate feedback, they will have now about what are the weaknesses or strength of them when they are conducting the learning process. So it is important to consider when the teacher, what is it? When the feedback is given to the so in this case I will try to explain it in more detail. According to Brown in 2001 and 2000, the teachers, as they are delivering the feedback to the students, they have to give it in a positive, effective, and appropriate way. So in this case, it involves the emotions that is included in the feedback. And next, when the feedback has some characteristics as Brown's mentioned, so it is expected that there will be a rise in motivation. So in this case, the students will have will have better motivation when they get such a positive, effective, and appropriate feedback. And next, it will also influence the way the students engage to the tasks given by the teachers or instructors. And finally, it will expect it that the students, when they get the appropriate feedback, the learning objective will be achieved. Therefore, it meets the objective needed. And next, there are some considerations according to Gibbs and Simpson in 2005 when the teachers or instructors will give the feedback to the students. The first one will be about sufficiency. So it has to do with the regular and useful. So when the teachers give feedback, it is expected that they have sufficient feedback in terms of its usefulness and also regularity. So when the students get this kind of feedback, they will know what to do. Actually, it relates to the second consideration, that is usefulness. And also next, suitability. So it has to do with the objective of the assignment. So in this case, the teachers have given the, what is it, suitable feedback in relation to the objective of the assignment. So in this case, the student will have been given to uh, explanation about the objective that should be concerned by the students. And also the teachers or instructors are required to focus more on the students' performance instead of the characteristic of the students. So it has to do with the objectivity actually. And the last one, it is about the timely characteristic. In this case, uh, the teachers are required to give the appropriate feedback and as soon as possible when the students need it. And next, there are some considerations or factors in terms of engagement in online learning according to Lee and colleagues. The first one is about psychological motivation. Actually, it is not only about the motivation itself, but it also relates to the other psychological effects such as interests and attitudes. And the second one is about the peer collaboration. It has to do with the way the students do collaborative tasks or collaborate with their friends or students, other students. For example, the way they cope with the questions or they respond the question themselves. Yeah. And next, it's about the cognitive problem solving. So actually, it's about, it has to do with what is called by Bloom's taxonomy. So it has to do with having a knowledge as until the way they judge some information or evaluation like that. And the third one is about the interactions with instructors. So in this case, it has to do with the way the students communicate with their instructors or teachers. And And the fifth one is about community support. And it is, it has to do with the perceived bonds or relationship uh, with the other students. And the last one is about the learning management that has to do with the students' willingness to have an active participation. And next, so the research questions that are trying to answer in this research is there are four questions, research questions. The first one will be about it's about to what extent do the quality of the instructor's feedback and also the students' engagement in online learning, and it tries to investigate the significant relationship between the instructor's feedback and the students' engagement in online learning. And the last one is about how the students act on the feedback given. So in this study, a mixed method was used. So in this case, the design used was an explanatory sequential, and there were 65 graduate students from one of the universities in Bandung City, and the instrument used were questionnaires and interview, and the data was analyzed quantitatively through what is it? Uh, Parametric testing, especially in this case, correlational analysis and qualitative analysis, which in this case, systematic coding procedure was employed. Next, these are the findings. So in this case, based on with the mean of 82.38 and standard deviation 6.51, the instructor's feedback quality included as the good one. So it has to do with the interval, the third interval. You can see in the slide. And next, this is the students' engagement in online learning. So in this case, based on the mean of 73.48, sorry, 43, and with the standard deviation 10.92, the students' engagement in online learning was considered as the good one also. And next, the relationship between the instructor's feedback and the students' engagement in online learning. So in this case, before the quantitative analysis, especially correlational analysis, was conducted, the normal distribution of the data was tried to be investigated first. In this case, the Sapphire wheel was used, and based on the significance values, the engagement and feedback was considered normally distributed at the 95% level of significance. And also, based on this value, the linearity of the data of the two variables were considered as linear. But the findings, the last finding, based on this value, it was found that there was no significant relationship between the instructor's feedback and the student's engagement in online learning. So these are the findings that have to do with the actions on the feedback given. So in this case, as you can see in the slide, that the most actions that the students do when they have received the feedback from the lecturer or instructor, in this case, it was found that the students will tend to try to have a correction of the errors shown by the instructor. And next, this is the action that will probably do if the students have a problem or problems when they try to understand the feedback given. In this case, the students will try to ask or have some consultations with their friends or other persons instead of the lecturer or instructor first. And also they will try to consult to some relevant books like that. And next, this is one of the interesting findings or excerpts from the interview conducted to the participants. In this case, it is in line with the questionnaire given or disseminated that time. So the students will try to, tend to consult with their colleagues or friends first before they, uh, consult the instructor or teacher or lecturer like that. And next, the student, uh, it seems they still should be reinforced first. So reinforcement is preferable when they were conducting some tasks. So it means that their learner autonomy still become the challenging issues in this case. And this is the conclusion and recommendation of the research. The first one is about it is concluded that the quality of the instructor's feedback and students' engagement during the online learning taking place is categorized as the good one and the same as the engagement. It was considered as the good one, but unfortunately, in the second conclusion, reveals that some challenges were still found. In this case, it has to do with the learner autonomy that goes hand in hand with the motivation. So, as I have already mentioned beforehand, that the students will be more motivated when they are given the reinforcement. In this case, such as the instructor gave some deadline to the tasks given. And next, the third one it concluded that no significant relationship between the instructor's feedback quality and the students' engagement, especially in online learning. And the fourth one reveals that student-teacher report was deemed to be interface. So there was no deep connection or relationship or bound between the instructor and the students, which can be indicated by will tend would tend to consult with their friends first instead of to the instructor. And next, the fifth one, it is the fifth and sixth one will be about the recommendation actually. So it is expected that more bigger or massive participants are required to the future research or studies. And the last one, other instruments which assess the feedback and online learning engagement are expected to be used. Well, I think that's all. Thank you very much. And I'm so sorry for any inconvenience. And thank you very much. And I will return this room and time to the moderator.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Ahmad for such an inspiring presentation about feedbacks from teacher and the relation with students engagement. Okay, so I think because the time is very limited, there are two questions. First from Mr. Edi Santoso to Mr. Ahmad about how to cope with the late work submission from the students. Could you please answer it, Mr. Ahmad?
Okay.
Mr. Ahmad, could you hear my voice?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the question. So, based on the interview conducted, the students will have, yeah, as I have already mentioned, the instructor gave some reinforcement through deadline at that time. And uh, yeah, actually, this has to do with the students. I mean, the study that was conducted was based on the students' voices. Yeah. And actually, I still did not know about what actually the teachers perceive about the problems or challenges they face. But based on the interview conducted, the issues still relate about the learner autonomy, even it was conducted at a higher level education, yeah, like that. So, in fact, in higher level education, like university students, the students still require to be reinforced by the instructor, like that. So yeah, learner autonomy become one of the what's it challenging issues like that. And uh, even when the due date is over, so yeah, how do you cope with this? Actually, yeah, it is not me. I'm not the instructor, but based on the interview conducted, uh, the students will try to get higher motivation when the teacher reinforce or the instructor reinforce the students in terms of the deadline. So the instructor give what is it warning, yeah, to make the students remind what is it the task given like that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm so sorry for any inconvenience.
For now, is it okay?
Yes, we can just proceed to the lunch break, Sarah.
Okay, so I'm sorry for the previous inconvenience, and thank you for the all participants and the presenters. So the next activity will be lunch break until 1:30 p.m. And then we have another keynote speech by Ms. Cecilia Titiandari, PhD, and Dr. Rose in the main room of LLTC 2020. So please enjoy the rest of the conference and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.